Hello, and welcome to Nobody Meets Somebody, the podcast where two comedians who are currently nobody try to meet someone who is famous. My name is Mary Picarazzi, and as y'all can see, my co host, Tanvir Aurora, is not here for today's episode because him and his wife just had a baby. Yeah, we're super excited. I am so happy for them and wish them the best during this bonding time, but we'll see them next episode. In today's episode, we got to talk with Erik Rivera. He has appeared on numerous shows. We're talking The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Just for Laugh and out in Montreal, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Network. He has multiple specials on HBO. He's an awesome guy. Let's not waste any time. Let's talk with Erik. Hi, Erik. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm here in sunny California, and you're gonna have to excuse me. I'm picking up my son from school, so if he jumps into the car, do not seem alarmed. I'm not getting robbed. I'm not getting carjacked. It's just my kid.
Just random kids just popping in the car. Yeah, we don't know how California goes, but no, that's great. So sunny out there. I'm out here in San Antonio. It is very hot and sunny, so we're starting the summer roll already.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
trade your
San
weather
Antonio.
though.
I love San Antonio, but you guys do get hot. Like you guys take heat to a whole different level.
Yeah. We just had hail 2 days ago, so yeah, we're right on schedule.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah, I'll trade your weather in a heartbeat. All right, before we begin our episode, we always have my handy dandy shiny hat with all of our magic questions in there. We're just gonna go through, kind of spitball, and then get started.
Okay.
Let's roll through it. All right.
Let's do it.
Who do you fangirl over?
Who do I? I'll tell you this. I'm a Yankee fan, and there was one year we went down to spring training in Tampa, and Derek Jeter was still on the team. This is how I'm dating myself. This is how years back it was. And my wife, she was like, "Oh, he's not that cute," and I was like, "All right, cool." So my friend was playing on the team, so like I'm back, I got a good seats, and then I can go down into the stadium to meet the players. And Jeter's walking towards me and my wife, and at that moment I was like, "Oh, I need more balls. Can you go run to the store and like there's like a little shop to get more balls so I can get stuff signed?" She goes, "Sure." She starts walking. Jeter's walking towards her. He stops her. He's like, "Hey, girl," and she clearly giggles. And I was like, "Hold on." So part of me was angry, but again, I fangirl over Jeter, so I was like, I'm gonna allow it. Okay, sure. If it's good enough for the captain, it's good enough for me. Sure.
Who is your friend on the team?
Justin Maxwell. He played. I think he played a year or two with them, and then he was over with the Royals, and he bounced around a little bit.
So are you gonna watch the 30 for 30 they have coming up with the captain? I guess the new show they're doing, the documentary.
Of course. Yeah. Mike, I've got two kids. My youngest kid plays t-ball. He wears number 2.
So we might have to end this interview early. I'm a diehard Cubs fan, so
okay.
Yeah,
but see, we're different leagues. American League, National League, we're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I'm of the mind anybody but the Yankees, so
okay.
It's only because y'all won so much. That's why we haven't won. It took us a while to win. It took us a while.
Well, it's been a while since we won. So,
well, this is true. Let's roll to the next question. What is a meal you could eat every day without getting tired of it?
Pizza, hands down. Pizza
kind of
the best meal
all?
ever. Pizza is I will fight anybody. I'm challenging all your listeners. Pizza is the greatest food ever. You can have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner. You can't do that with any meal. You can have it cold. You can have it hot. It's the best meal. Fight me at Erik Rivera Comedy on Instagram. Look, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh,
what
you can
style?
have burgers.
What
no,
style
burgers
are we
get
doing?
New York style, of course. Come on,
okay.
come
on.
Are
you a folder? Are you a folder?
Of course. I told my kids, right? You fold it. If I see you with a fork and knife, I will slap them out of your hand. Get out of here. How you eat pizza?
Oh, we differ on that too. So wow, this is going to be a real interesting interview. We will never meet in person, sir. Oh, this is a good one. What advice would you give comedians that are trying to break into a club or bigger venues?
Just be nice to people. Be nice to the staff because they have more pull than you think they like. Just be nice to the wait staff. Make friends with them. Tip them. Please tip. Oh my God, I can't. Like, there's nothing worse than when I do a weekend somewhere and there's like a younger comic trying to break in, and he orders and doesn't tip. these people talk amongst each other. And guess what? The owner will be like, oh, who'd you guys like? Oh, well, we didn't like Mr. Cheapskate over there who ordered the pizza and ate it with a fork and knife. Tip. I know, by the way, at younger comics, I know you're not making a lot of money, but if you can throw a couple bucks, they'll remember that. They'll be like, oh, he threw me like $2-3.
Yeah, yeah, it does pay, especially when half the time we get a lot of stuff comped anyway while we're back there.
Yeah.
You're getting charged for 1 out of 3 drinks maybe. So yeah, it does. I agree with that. Always gotta be nice to your wait staff. What about talking with like general managers or booking agents or booking talent that's there with the club?
Again, just be friendly, be personable, don't be jerks. I can't stand when like if people just walk up to these poor GMs, man, like, I headline like just hey, any opportunities, keep me in mind and just be friendly and touch base. Don't get mad at them because they're not booking you. Again, they have hundreds of people hitting them up.
Absolutely.
Hundreds. They've got agents hitting them up. They've got managers hitting them up. Be nice and check in. Hang out. You never know. Just hanging out, what could happen? Somebody's late. Somebody doesn't show up. They go, hey, that guy's a nice dude. Hey, go do 5 minutes, and you're in.
That's fair. Yeah. Ooh, have you ever gotten in trouble for a joke of yours?
So I personally have never gotten in trouble because I usually veer. Like when I first started doing comedy, like the advice I got was like you should start clean, and not that I'm squeaky clean. I'm not Brian Regan clean, but I've learned that being TV clean was the way to go because you could always go dirtier. You can go from clean to dirty easy. Dirty to clean is a lot harder, and that
Mm-hmm.
was the advice I always took, and that's what I've sort of built my comedy on. And if you're a dirty comic, like look, times have changed now, where now there's so many streamers and stuff. Like dirty is a new thing. Like so, if you're like this advice stinks, look, if you do have to do Fallon or like Conan or it's a lot harder. Like I've seen comics like, oh, what if instead of saying this word, I say duty? I'm like, well, you can try it. Gonna be interesting.
I work real well on Conan Rip, but yeah.
Yeah.
um, ooh, what is something you have always wanted to try?
Wait, hold on. Wait, what kind of question is this?
Let's get into your life goals here.
Something I've always wanted to try. Like, are we talking food? Are we talking sexual? Like, what are we talking here? Mary,
Whatever.
what do you? I feel like you're setting me up. Did my wife set you up? Is there I don't know.
He's about to get canceled.
She's about to jump in like, no.
Well, I mean, you can go anywhere you want. You can go food, you can go sexual, you could just, maybe have a hobby like a normal fucking person. But if you want to go
Okay,
with that,
okay, all right. Don't come at me like this. No, you know what? Like, I think the cool thing about comedy is like it puts you in situations where you're always traveling and then experiencing new stuff. Like that's I don't want this to be like an advice show, but like if you're a comic and you're traveling, or a new comics even, like, and you get the chance to go on the road, go try stuff. Don't just sit in the hotel. Like I've always been of like that school of like I'm gonna go try stuff. Like I just recently went to Hawaii and I was like, oh, I want to surf. I've never surfed in my life. My people
nice.
don't surf. Anytime you watch Shark Week, we're not missing limbs
We are
because
not
we
in the
don't get
waters.
we don't mess in the water.
No.
No, you've never seen like a guy. I was in the water and the shark. Like it's always some goofy white girl, blue eyes. Like I love surfing. Look, just go try it. I tried it. Why? Because I've never done it before, and now it's a story. So do it.
Well, now that you're saying food, what food haven't you tried that you wanted to try?
I've always wanted to go like to Thailand or like Japan where there's like this old cook that comes like, by the way, this is all made up. There's no restaurant. I just watch a lot of movies and the guy, oh, this guy that makes the best. He's the only one that knows this ancient recipe and they give me I don't know some kind of octopus egg. I don't
But
even know if
like
that's true.
hole
I
in
don't
the
think
wall. I don't think
yeah.
octopus have eggs,
I don't
but
think
yeah,
octopuses lay eggs.
no, they
Look,
don't.
this is why I do comedy. I'm not a learned man.
But think about it. You can go to Thailand and do a twofer. You can do a new sexual position and new food.
There you go.
It's
Or
a
and
twofer.
combine them all. A little octopus egg sex. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm glad your kid is not in the car right now.
Not yet.
We got those out. Worst show you've ever done,
Oh man, like
and worst could be relative. It could be you personally had a worst show, or
yeah,
the venue, or the crowd. I mean, there's a lot of aspects, right? What would you put there at
yeah.
your top?
So I did this fundraiser in Arizona. This was years back. It was for some school foundation. And first of all, like when they picked me up, they sent the dude in a truck. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not at the level where you send a limo and a nice driver, but the dude in a truck, like who just happened to be in the area, they called him up, and he was starting to tell me stories about how he was transporting stuff across the border illegally. And I was like, oh, okay. Are we getting arrested? What's happening? uh, I get to the venue and they don't have a stage. It's by the way, they didn't rent out the whole venue. So picture it looks like an Applebee's almost, and they've only got a section of it. Like I love The Office. Like, did you ever see The Office
Yeah.
where he has his awards thing, and he's
Yes,
only
just
got
that
part of
back.
the restaurant? Yeah, and but the restaurant's open. So this is what it's like. So I'm at this restaurant. There's no stage, no spotlight. They have a microphone that's hooked up to the speaker because it's like a karaoke thing. And what they end up doing is I was like, oh, but everybody can't see me. They're like, well, you'll stand in the booth. So they have me standing in a booth.
Ooh,
I
wow.
can't really move because if I move, I'm going to fall out of the booth. There's no spotlight, so no one can see my face. If
That's
you're
awesome.
sitting right there, you see my face. The people in the back don't see my face. I'm
With the
talking, I'm
dinner
watching.
lights.
Yeah, I'm watching people eating with their families, not paying attention. It's so bad. So they hired me to do two shows. I was supposed to do a 7 o'clock, and then I was gonna do like a quick 9 o'clock or something like that because they had like an auction. They had all sorts of stuff happening. After I do the 7 o'clock, and I swallow my pride, I go sit down outside because I was like, I don't want to sit in here with these people. They just watch me miserably bomb. The lady comes, and I was supposed to get dinner. I was supposed to get all this stuff. She comes with a little, like one of those prepackaged ham sandwiches. She goes, "Here you go." And I was like, "Oh, I hadn't ordered yet." She goes, "No, no, we're gonna take you back. Here's your check, by the way. Thank you so much." And I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm not doing the nine. Okay." Uh, and I sadly just held the check and ate my sandwich back at the hotel. And I was like, I have to cash this first thing in the morning because I have a feeling they may cancel. They did not. I did get paid for it,
To their
but it
credit.
but it was terrible.
That was bad where you're like, all right, I'll do a 9. They're like, no, no,
Yeah.
no, we're done with you.
Yeah. By the way, I was also looking at the menu. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the steak tips. Oh, some shrimp. She's like, here's this ham sandwich we got probably out of the vending machine. Just
Did
thank
you check
you.
the date? Did you check the
I
date?
did. It was still good. But like, there's nothing worse than bombing. No, and you can have the best food in front of you after bombing. It's the saddest meal ever.
Oh yeah, it's like the Charlie Brown music.
Oh yeah,
No, 100. Wow, that wow. Okay,
yeah,
I haven't had to sit on a table or a booth, so
yeah,
there's
yeah. No.
that.
So
uh,
that's what I love about comedy. You could do it like people don't take into consideration everything you need, and they're like, "Oh, he'll just do it in my backyard, standing on this picnic table," and you're like, "That's not how it works."
yeah.
Okay, and
Well,
but
you know, there's problems.
we want so we're so broken. We're like, "We'll do it."
How
Okay.
much? You gonna give us some brisket? We'll take it. Let's
Yeah.
go. Oh, 100%. Did you always plan on being a clean comic?
Yes, yes.
We talked
Well,
about that. Yeah.
I grew up very religious. I grew up Pentecostal Christian. We were, a very religious home, and also like I knew at some point my mother was going to come see my act, so I was like, I should go clean because I don't need. She already hated that I was going to do comedy, and I was like, the deal I had made with her because I dropped out of school. I was like, I did what I want to do, and she was like, don't do that. And I was like, just give me a year. I was very cocky. I was like, give me a year, and then come out and see me. So I was like, I have to be clean because if she comes out and I'm like, oh, you guys, you ever getting head? And she'd be like, what? No, she would have sent me to like boarding school or cleansed me somehow with a priest. So yeah,
How old were you at that time?
I think I was 21.
Yeah, so that's the difference with Latinos. So as a Latina, I am worried about the same thing. Like if I have family coming, I'm not about to drop, all my dick jokes. But
Yeah,
you have white comics that are like, yeah, my mom loves dick jokes. I'm like,
yeah.
what? How did you
Oh yeah,
grow up?
yeah. Like I've watched. Trust me, because I've seen a lot of like young white comics and their families are there, and they're up there like, yeah, hey, you guys, you ever eaten butt? And you're like, oh, your mom is
Yes.
there. What's wrong? She can hear you, and they're so supportive. They're like, oh, Trevor's so funny, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't get. I cannot. I could not get behind that. I'm like, no, no. I want
Look,
my
I'm
child to
I'm
fear me in the audience.
I'm married. I have kids, and I'm still terrified to drop any kind of profanity in front of my mother. Like
A
I'm still
hundred.
like
Yes. Yes.
I'm like she doesn't know I curse. She doesn't know I've had sex. I've got two kids. She doesn't know.
They just appeared. Well, my name's
Yeah,
Mary, so my kids just appeared. Okay, that's how
yeah,
that
yeah.
happened. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. What is your dream gig? You've been on
Dream.
HBO. You've had specials. You've had quite a lot of success, and I would say, and it wasn't so random. Like it's been pretty steady for you.
Yeah.
So it's been a great trajectory. What is your dream gig that you're waiting for,
That
or
I'm
working
waiting
towards,
for.
or working towards?
It's so funny. It's like I feel like when I started comedy, there was always those bucket lists of like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like as far as TV, like I've done those quote unquote bucket list things that have been done. I don't. I was having this conversation the other day. Like somebody was like, "Oh, don't you want to do like another hour special?" I don't. It sounds weird. I don't think people have the attention span to watch me
That's
for
so fair.
an hour. Like I don't think people will have the attention span for an hour. Like and now there's so many different platforms like YouTube and Instagram and like where you can cut up clips and people can find you and watch you.
True.
You know, I think for me like a dream gig would be being from New York. I'd love to one day play the Garden, and that doesn't mean like I'm headlining the Garden. I would just love to do a set on someone else's show. There's no pressure. There's none. I just walk out 10 minutes and then go grab a slice, and that was amazing.
Here's in the front, like anybody want to see the show? Let's go. Just start getting
Yeah.
people in. Who would you want? Who would you do a show with that would headline?
Oh, I would love to like do a show with like Chappelle or George Lopez or Kevin Hart, like somebody that I've admired for quite some time.
Okay, okay, that's cool. I'll go with that. Going to another random question because that is what our podcast is.
Uh,
Do you have a hidden talent?
do I have a hidden talent? I'm very open book when it comes to stuff. Hold on one second, because my kid is
Sure,
looking for me.
you're fine.
Uh, Hold on, Jay. Sorry, everybody's seeing this
This
now.
is
Like it's
awesome.
happening.
I love this.
Julian.
Yo, over here.
Yeah.
I like how you're not walking towards them. You're just staying by the car.
I know. I just saw. Hold on, I got a mom yelling at me and everything because I'm watching life happen here. Get in.
We're TikToking.
Uh, what was the question? I'm sorry.
You're fine. Hidden talent. What is your hidden talent?
Like I said, I'm a pretty open book, so like I'll put a lot of stuff online. Like I cook, I run. Like I don't think I've got anything hidden where people go, oh, that caught us off guard.
Well, I mean, like I don't know, like play harmonica or something that
I
you. Like,
know. Again, I
okay.
would have put. Listen, at the age of content, I'd be
I
on
would have been.
live. Like, hey guys, I'm playing the harmonica. There's no hidden anymore. There's
Oh,
no.
you don't keep
It's
something
like,
back like that. That's a big deal for me. I'm not anywhere near your success, obviously, because we're having this conversation. I'm on this side, but the idea is like for me, it's like I like having my own like this is
yeah.
my space where no
Well,
one's gonna get
I'll
into
tell
it.
you one thing that is hidden, but and not that I do it purposefully, but like a lot of people don't know. Like I have tattoos because every
You
time you
cover
see
up, yeah.
me and you see my Instagram, it's like I've got shirts on, and then when people see them, they're like, oh, hold on, what are you doing? Like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. I have tattoos that most people in my comedy scene don't know yet because they're all cover upable. Because that was the
yeah,
thing my parents said. If you're gonna get tattoos, make sure that you don't ruin your life with them. So you cover
exactly.
them up.
Same again. I'm terrified of my mother, so I get tattoos that I can hide.
Well, I was gonna get a tattoo on my wrist actually, and it ended up falling through. And my mom was like, "See, I told you weren't supposed to get it on your." I'm like, "Okay, you know what? You're right. You might be right."
There you go.
Ooh, this is kind of follows up what you were saying. How important is social media as a comedian?
Oh, it is very important now. Like now, it's one of those things. Like I think you know, Dane Cook was the first pioneer of it. Like, people forget how big he was, and it was because of MySpace. Like, he interacted and used it at the best of his abilities. And now it's like we don't need. Like, if you look at someone like Andrew Schultz is a perfect example. Like, he's just direct to consumer. Like, he doesn't need middlemen. Like he doesn't need the specials. Like yeah, it's great when he gets them, but for the most part, like his fans, he's got a direct port to them, and he can just go, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be at this theater," and he just sells out. Like gone are the times where an unknown comic could just build a following through through the clubs and stuff. Like now it's
Yeah.
very like I tell everybody like that, like I don't want to do TikTok, I don't want like get on everything because you don't know, like it could just take one clip you put up and then boom,
That's true.
it's taken off, and overnight you're like, oh my god, like what's happening. Like my friend, I'm really good friends with Angela Johnson. Like
Yeah.
she tells the story of like, she did this bit nail salon. She recorded, put it up on YouTube, and she's like, I showed up to an open mic one night and it's packed. And the guy that was running the open mic goes, "Hey, they're all here for you." And she's like,
Whoa.
"What are you talking about?" It's like, "Yeah, they all keep asking about the nail salon girl. It's you."
She's like, I'll put that new shit away. We're not gonna do that one tonight.
Yeah. Guess we're doing nail salon tonight.
I guess we're doing that. No, but that's interesting though. Like, if you were starting comedy now, right? Would how would you get invested early on in social media, or wait
Oh
till
yeah.
you build up a set and wait till you've gotten yourself established?
No, you got to get on social media, like because it's two different muscles. Like yeah, there's the stand up portion of it, and like constantly work on the stand up, go to the open mics, go to the shows, keep working on new bits. But like the social media is a whole different ball game of just letting people get to know who you are, showing them like what your life is like, also creating different content. Like that's awesome to be able to write little sketches, mini sketches that you think are funny, like 30-second
Yeah,
clips. That's a different muscle that I think as comics, like we need to have. I always say you have a toolbox, and the more tools you can have in that toolbox, the better. Like especially coming out to LA when I moved out here, it's like oh, can you write? Can you direct? Can you write sketches? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like if you have all those tools and they're all sharpened, like there's no denying you.
I mean, so how much do you think the social media has changed? So, moving out to LA, right? I'm in Texas. Austin's kind of our new mini LA. So we almost don't have to move. Is it even worth getting an agent? To some degree, you're going to start thinking comedians can pretty much be their middlemen. How much is
Yeah,
that? How much does that improve? Their overall stake in comedy.
I think I look. I don't think we should go chasing agents. Like when you have a product that's making noise, the agents will come to you. But right now, just focus and build. I hate saying it because it sounds so skeevy and you salesman. Build your brand. Build your brand. Like, but that's technically what it is. What you're doing, you're building a company. Like I know stand up is fun and we get to hang out with our friends and say outlandish stuff on stage. But at the same time, you're your own company. You're the CEO of you.
Yep.
And that's the way we have to look at it. Because sometimes we're just like, whatever, it's just having fun. And how come I'm not getting? Well, what are you doing? What are you putting out there to get the notoriety, to get noticed, to get more bookings? Like, what's all that work you're doing? You're the
Yeah.
CEO of your own company, so use the social media to your advantage.
I mean, that's something that I was told early on when I started stand up out here was that don't worry about who's getting what booking. Be so funny that they have to go to you. And I was like, you
Exactly.
know what? That's legit. So whenever I'm not getting booked, because in every scene there's going to be your favorites. There's going to be
Yeah.
people that are going to obviously get more preferential treatment. You just have to be funnier where they have to come to you, and they're going to be like, I don't want to book you, but you do bring in people, so
All right.
it's for
Yeah.
good. I feel that. How often do you write?
I try to write every day. And again, going back to the toolbox, it doesn't necessarily have to be stand up every day. Some days I'm working on a script. Some days I'm working on a script idea. Some days I'm working on a sketch. Some days I'm writing stand up. But if you can try to write every day, even it's so funny. Like there's comics like the Mark Normans and stuff who come from the Seinfeld school, and Seinfeld will sit there for like an hour or two, and you're just like, oh my god. And then there's the New Year's resolution comes around like I'm gonna write. I'm gonna sit down for an hour. I'm gonna write, and then you sit there and you're like, this is terrible. Like if you're not a big writer, like I say, write. Please write, even if it's for a minute. Start small. Don't set yourself up to fail. It's almost like going to the gym. Like I'm gonna lose 40 pounds today. You're not.
Today.
Yeah, you're not going to sit down today if you've never written and write for an hour. Just go, you know what, I'm going to write for like 2 minutes
Yep.
and start doing that every day. And then sooner or later, you'll notice that those 2 minutes grow into 3 minutes, 4 minutes, five, and then you'll start getting into, working out that muscle and getting into
Exactly.
a pattern of going, oh, I like writing. I only write 15 minutes a day, or I write this, I write that, or I can sit here long periods of time and write longer.
Depends where that optimal point is for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you write, are you a pencil paper person? Do you do combination of computer? Like, what is your preferred method?
I I prefer computer. Like I'll sit in front of my laptop, just jot ideas down on my notepad on my phone.
Yeah.
Just because my wife always makes fun that I write so slow. She's like, "Oh my God, it's taking forever." Because my mother would like drill into me like, "You have to work on your print." So I like it's painstakingly slow. Like anytime we go out and we have to fill out forms, my mother's like, "I'm gonna do it because I
You just
can't
give it
sit
to
here and
me.
watch you for 2 hours."
See, I do the same thing with my husband just because he writes horribly. I'm like, no, I want
Yeah.
to be able to read this. I don't need them to know what medication I'm allergic to that you just couldn't spell correctly.
Right. Also,
Yeah, no.
I write everything, so she gets mad. She's like, "That's not what they're at." Like when we did a medical form once, and it was like, "Any allergies?" Like cats. She's like, "Idiot! They're not going to give you a cat." I was like, "Well, it said if I had allergies, I'm allergic to cats." She goes, "What do you think? They're going to prescribe cats?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Maybe a therapy cat. You're out in LA.
Yeah,
You never know. I would
yeah,
take a therapy cat, but I'm allergic, so okay.
yeah.
That's funny. Uh, what would you do if you couldn't do comedy?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I'm answering this with full honesty because I sat there during the pandemic. I think we all did. We all started looking at like, I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna get my life together. I looked. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I went on like Monster.com and Hot Jobs, and I was like, what can I do? I am not qualified to do anything. Like first of all, I don't have a college degree, so I'm out on like 80% of the jobs, and everything else just sounds horrible. I'm like, I don't like. I came to the realization. I was like, I think I'm gonna have to sell cell phones at a kiosk. Like that's
Yeah,
what I can do and I'm qualified for at this point. Maybe sell cars, but I'm not a car guy, so I don't know enough about it. Like, is that a V8 engine? I don't know. Look at the sticker, dude.
what does the paper say? I don't know.
What does it say on the door? I don't know.
But that's true. A lot of people during the pandemic was like, yeah, this is gonna be forever. Like, I mean, this was a long. Of course, down here in Texas, we kind of had a mini pandemic.
Yeah.
We just
What
decided, fuck it.
pandemic?
Yeah, fuck the pandemic. This is
COVID,
hampering our
COVID.
exactly.
Okay.
This is hampering our style. Let's just open shit
Yeah.
up again. Yeah, no, but there's definitely the idea of like, is this my life now?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. I think we
oh,
all panicked and we all like, what else can I do? And we a lot of us learned that hey, maybe I can just show my privates on OnlyFans. Like that's all I can do. And it's
I'm
more
just.
power to you if you made money. Good for you, but I
I'm
can't
not
do
gonna
that.
lie. There's
My
some
mother's
women.
still alive. My mother is alive and she would see it.
I think even I'm thinking even when I have relatives that pass on, they can still see me. Like
Oh
no,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
no.
I'm so terrified of my mother. Like I feel like I was like, even if I like cut my face off, she would know she's like, that's my son. That's his nipple. And she would call me, look what I saw. That's you. I'm like, no, it's not. I gave birth to you. That's you.
Why were you on OnlyFans, mom?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, hold on. How'd you get on? The church group told me I prayed and I got there. That's the, I don't trust it.
but I have a friend of mine that had a friend that made $2,000 every 3 weeks just showing feet pictures, and I'm like, my feet, like that's not bad. Like I show my feet when I
Yeah.
go to walk around, so I
You
was like,
just
let me
giving it
think
out for
about this.
free. What are you doing, Mary?
Right? Right. I'm just saying, there's some potential in there. There's potential. Ooh, what was your last non-comedy job?
Uh, we're talking stand up.
No, like outside of comedy, before you
Oh,
started. Like, what was
before I
your
started,
last real job? Yeah.
I was working for this telecommunication company. I was customer service. The company was like a toll free number leasing site, and it was so funny because it was literally two employees and the boss. So I would do customer service, and whenever they want to talk to like a manager, I would just do a different voice of like, "Hold on, I'll patch you through to David," and I just, "Hey, hello, this is David," because there was no one else, and he didn't want to talk to anybody, so I would just do voices and kill time.
She's like, I heard your concerns. Yes, yes. He is
Yeah,
a horrible employee. Yes.
I will. We'll talk to him.
That's funny. And then how did you quit that job? Did you just end up quitting or is it
He
fired?
he fired me, and I'm gonna put fired in quotes because he just realized that my hours were getting shorter and shorter, and my attention wasn't to the job. And then one day he just pulled me onto the guy. He was like, "Hey, things are a little slow. Why don't you take a couple days, and I'll call you once things start picking up." And I was like, "Sure." And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, "I don't think he's calling. I think he fired me." But he was such a nice guy. He didn't like confrontation. He was just like, "Hey, just take a couple days. Take a little vacation." I was like, "Okay,
Just
sure."
sort of ghosted you on the job.
Yeah,
What a nice way to get fired, though.
I know. I know. And by the way, he'll email me from time to time like, "How you been?" I'm like, "Good."
Oh my God.
Are things picking up? Are things?
Do you
No,
need me
not
again?
yet. Yeah,
Were you waiting for that for the pandemic? Oh my God. Did you need me again?
yeah. I can come in.
I can work remote too. We're good.
Yeah.
My last question that we do ask every guest that comes, and we do want to thank you for your time. I know you get your kid in the back of the car.
Yeah. In case people think I'm lying, there he is.
Oh no.
Okay.
He's just like, whatevs. He's so like used to it at this point. Our last question is, when someone Googles you, what do you want your autocomplete to be?
I like that because I've Googled myself. I like that it's Erik Rivera comedy. For a while, it wasn't. It was there was a news story, and you guys can Google it later. But there was a guy in upstate New York, which wasn't good because I was living in New York at the time, who was caught. He was sneaking into stables, and he was getting very
Fornicating?
friendly with the horses.
Oh my.
So
Hmm.
mind you, like I'm a couple years into comedy when this all happened, and I would go do gigs, and when I would get there, like I could see the look of concern on people's faces. "Excuse me, Erik Rivera, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So we Googled you. And oh yeah, but I'm not that guy. And they go,
Not the
"Okay,
horse
good."
guy.
I'm not, I don't like horses. And they go, "Oh my God, thank you."
I'm allergic. You see my form?
Yeah, I'm allergic to horses and cats. Uh, so I like that now it'll pop up Erik Rivera comedy, and there's good stuff. I think, but that's with time. Like I've been doing it such a long period of time that good stuff. I've fixed my name, guys. Yay! I fixed
But when
my
you
name.
went, so when you want someone to Google you, they want them to put Erik Rivera comedy.
I want Erik Rivera. It'll pop up on its own. Like comedy shows up. Thank goodness.
Fair
now.
enough. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Got that algorithm down.
If anybody else out there with the name Erik Rivera, do not mess it up for us. I have fixed it. I have given us good standing.
How many
You're
people do you
welcome.
think are just impersonating you? Yes, I am the comedian. Yes, I am.
I'm the comedian. Can I go see the stables? Hold on. Nuh-uh.
Well, we definitely want to thank you for your time. Appreciate it so much. So that's our show for today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, that's our show for this week. We want to thank Erik Rivera. It was a phenomenal to talk with him today. I'm so glad his kid did not come in the car at the wrong time of this interview. Yay, we're not getting canceled. If y'all enjoyed the episode, please share us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Share us on everything. And if you really, really liked it, you can also share us with your friends, families, and enemies. Till next time, boop.